Awesome.
All right, now I just gotta finish getting my camera angled here. All right.
I apologize in advance. I'm really bad at the camera angles because I'm always moving this thing around. So
It won't matter. It's fine. The camera angle, it's always a squished together thing. So like because it's showing both of us at the same time, so it's always kind of a hard thing to see anyway. But it's fine. It won't matter.
yeah.
All right.
So I just kind of got like a base sketch done, and
Yeah. Are you? Yeah. Do you consider that like your rough drawing, like the rough pencil stage, or is that like a rough drawing for you, or is that like how close to being finished do you call that?
so I usually like start with I'll have like a rough drawing. So what I kind of do is I'll have this, and then I'll make this lighter, and then kind of go over it multiple times until I kind of get what I want,
Right.
and then I line it like with the line, like my line art, and then flat color, and then shading.
Gotcha. I don't know anything about color, so I leave it to the professionals. Like,
Oh, your inking is really really good.
well, I try.
That's one thing I don't know how to do is inking. Like even when I was doing my traditional work, that's the part that I struggled with the most with inking.
Yeah, it's definitely a trick because it's very final. It's very permanent.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's where I would struggle.
yeah. I'm sure you've heard Jessica mention several times where she's just like, "I hate this part. I can't do it. I can't fix it."
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember getting like I used to use Copic markers because I used to color all my stuff, and it was like you'd make a mistake, and it depended on the color because you can blend those markers.
Right.
So if I did like a dark pink and a light pink, I could blend them. But if I accidentally like went out of the line, I'm like, dang it.
Yep. Yeah. It could be very frustrating, and I don't know. I've just been doing it long enough that I've kind of found ways to kind of work around it if I make a mistake. But sometimes you make a mistake, there ain't no fixing.
Yeah.
You're like, well, so much for that.
Oh no, I get that.
you know, how's your weekend going?
Been very busy because of 2 days before Christmas, so it's just
Yeah.
been a lot of like last minute shopping and getting ready and all that fun stuff.
Do you spend it with family or something like that?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
spent it with like my mom, my sisters.
Oh, that's
It's pretty
good.
fun. Are
Yeah.
you doing anything fun?
Well, I just actually last night I was at a get together with my family. We had a basically our family Christmas party
Oh,
um,
nice.
just last night, and pretty much everyone on my side of the family got together, and it's a fun little thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Do
That's
like
fun.
do like a family gift exchange where we basically like all the adults we do like a white elephant gift thing for all the adults. So we just get something with like a $50 limit, and then it was kind of a uh like this thing where we all picked names out of a hat, and you picked a name of someone else in the group, and what you're trying to do is now all the presents are in the middle of the room, and you get to pick one, but you're trying to pick a gift for the name of the person that you drew. you know like
Oh,
I got my sister's oldest daughter, so I'm trying to pick a present for her, but the thing is that then someone else can like steal the gift kind of thing. It was kind of chaotic, but it was pretty fun. I was kind of worried about it because last year I ended up with like a boxed board game meant for like teenage girls. And I'm like, this is not. Why would anybody get this? It's so specific.
yeah.
Like I literally just threw it in the garbage.
Yeah, because you're like, I'm never gonna use
I'm
this.
never
Like,
gonna use this. I'm like so, but I ended up getting my sister. She my I have two sisters, and one of my sisters drew my name, and so she got her hands on this Lego Batmobile, knowing that one of my kids would love it, and he's actually been playing with it all morning.
oh,
So
that's awesome.
it worked out really well for me that time.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
haven't. Oh,
I didn't
sorry.
need another board game for teenage girls. It's just I'm like, I'm sorry, but I don't need this.
Yeah, you have 2 sons, you have, like, no use for it at all.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was saying. Oh gosh.
Yeah, those are fun. I did that one year with I think it was, like, 5 years ago we did that with my family, and we have a pretty big family on my dad's side because he has, like, 8 siblings, and they all have kids, and then some of their kids have kids,
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's
and
a
so yeah, it was crazy, we did a white elephant, and people got, like, crazy stuff, like, it was, like they were doing joke gifts, so, like, someone got, like, a Barbie doll, and they put, like, hair all over it or something, and, like, put a razor in with it, and I'm like, "What the"
oh my gosh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it was so funny, like, some of the stuff people got, and then my little sister, I think, got the one my older sister got, and then she accidentally dropped it and broke it.
Oh shoot. Like son of a it lasted 5 seconds.
Yeah, it those are chaotic, but they're really fun.
Yeah. And then we did a thing where the kids we had already kind of like pre-chosen um like one kid will get a gift for this specific kid. So I just went out and bought stuff for my boys for somebody else. Like my youngest boy who's 8, I like he drew he got linked up with my younger brother's little 1-year-old baby. So I'm like, all right, well, this is easy. I'll just go get a fluffy little, like, I got this cute little soft, squishy little puppy dog, like German Shepherd soft toy. So that was easy. And then my other son, he drew the name of my other brother's daughter, who's an artist, like one of the greatest artists I've ever seen. She's just a prodigy. So we got her a little art set. So that worked out really
Oh,
easy for
that's awesome.
and it's always fun. I mean, I've said before, if you're an artist, don't buy an artist art supplies. Just get them a gift card to a
Yes.
supply store because. But this girl is only like, she's like she's like 9 or 10, so it's kind of anything is fine. She's not like a,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But I was like, normally I wouldn't get an artist actual art supplies because that's a no in my world.
I just remember when I think I got this almost every year until I was, like, 12 or 13, and it was like those those, like, art sets that come with, like, the paint and those markers and the colored pencils?
That's kind of what I got her as just a
Yeah.
small version of that.
Yeah, I would always get one of those at growing up,
Yeah.
and I knew I used the pencils, but I did not apparently, I watched a video recently, and I didn't know this, but some of those markers, you're actually supposed to get them wet before you use them or something. So I'm over there trying to color, and they're all dry, and I was like, "What's wrong?"
What's I've never heard that. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's like works kinda like a watercolor thing. I actually saw it because there were so many people saying, "I got these as kids, and the markers were always so dry, what the heck?" And then someone's like, "You're actually supposed to get them a little bit wet." I'm like, "Oh, that would have been good to know."
Right. All right. Well, that's news to me too. I always hated the markers because markers never seem to last very long. They got a little bit of color for a bit, and then they're dry out, and then they're done. I'm like, ugh, I hate markers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I felt that. The only markers I ever liked were, like, those Copics, but I didn't get those until I was, like, 16.
Yeah.
And even the nice thing about those, though, is you can buy like, if I had a marker I used a lot, you can buy,
Yeah.
like, an ink refill, which for some reason is cheaper than the marker, and it's like you can refill the marker multiple times with it, and so I would just do that because like, I didn't know about them until later, and I'm like, "Well, I don't wanna have to keep because 'cause they're like $7 a marker." I'm like,
Yeah.
"I don't
No.
wanna have to keep spending
See, I don't know if you
$7."
can see, I've got a whole set of them myself. Yep. And that's the selling point of them is to be able to refill them because then they just are kind of you use them infinitely. You know.
Yeah.
And I was like, genius. Finally, somebody like come up with the magic secret.
Yeah, so, especially when they're gonna be, like, so expensive, because I know there's other brands that have those alcohol-based markers, but they do not have the refill, so it's like you're just paying 5 to $7 for one marker and you can't refill it. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I'm not
There,
doing that."
there was that other brand of these markers. I'm trying to remember what they were called. I know it if I heard
Is it
it.
Prisma? I know Prismacolor has
Prismacolor. Yeah,
some.
I think you're right. Yeah, you're right. They had some neat colors, but then yeah, once they dry up and are done, it's like, well, why would I keep using these? Because they're expensive. So,
Yeah.
And I ain't rich, but I know some people do. If you're an artist, you can kind of afford to keep resupplying. But dang,
Yeah.
yeah.
The Prismacolor pencils are really good though. Like those are pretty pricey. I think my grandma got me some for my birthday when I was like 16, and they're really good markers, but I think I got like 70, 60 or 70, and it was like almost $200 for that many pencils.
Holy crap! Yeah, I know Prismacolors are supposed to be really good quality, but dang,
Yeah, they're expensive.
seriously, right?
Well, someone asked, finally someone using a digital tablet. I'm using an iPad Pro.
Count Chocula. He's like, finally, someone speaking my language. All you people with your pencils and paint stuff. Yeah, Courtney's all about the digital, and she knows what she's doing. I mean, I say her talk about how I don't like digital, but I want to emphasize them. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't like it myself. But and there's Jessica. She's joining in on the other end because she's at home with her baby.
Oh, hello.
So yeah, you just do yours on a is it an iPad? I'm sorry,
Yeah, I have an iPad Pro, and I think it's the model before the last one that just came out, because apparently the last one that just came out isn't as good. So I'm like, I'm not buying that.
oh
Um,
oh yeah,
but yeah, it's nice. I personally like the iPad better than the because I have it's not a Cintiq, but it's kind of like a Cintiq. It's like a cheaper version of one of those
right,
monitors. And I like it, but it's like I like being able to like sit comfortably and like just because I have this in my lap right now. It's just comfortable, and I can take it to work, and it's
yeah.
portable, and I can have all these desktop programs on my iPad. So I'm like, I'd rather do that.
He says he has a I don't even know this Huion
You want? Hey,
Huon.
I think that's the brand I have. I think I don't remember. I got it a long time ago. Yeah, those are good.
Jessica, she says, "Hey guys, look at those hot Christmas chicks." Yeah, yeah. This is kind of Courtney's suggestion. She's like, "Should we do Christmas themed?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" She's like, "I'm just gonna be a hot girl in some Christmas." I'm like, I just found a figure and I put a Christmas hat on her, and I don't know. She's coming out of like a bag. I guess she's a present. I guess I'm objectifying and I'm being a slime ball here.
That no, that's what I first thought it was too. Was like she's coming out of like the Santa sack thing. That's
Right.
cool.
I know. I just literally come up with this like 5 minutes before we start. I'm like, I got to come up with some kind of reference. I was kind of thinking about it, but I didn't come up with anything for sure. I'm like, I better come up with something before we're going. Uh, it's all in good natured fun.
I mean, I'm over here drawing something kind of like it's a little different, but I mean, it's the same.
It's slightly different, but it's the same. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I know. Well, when I do these lives, doing something complicated is a little bit trickier. So I tend to just default to these are kind of easier to something like this, where it's just kind of flowing lines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a
No,
little easier to focus on when I'm also trying to like look and chat and see someone saying, "Hey, what is up?" Jessica, how's your baby doing? I've seen a couple pictures. Super adorable.
very cute.
Right. Cute little girl.
How many kids does she have now?
This is her fourth,
Oh, nice.
and her husband has a daughter from I mean, so five, but I assume I'm not saying anything she wouldn't want me to mention. I think it's secret. But this is her fourth and final. She's very adamant about it. I ain't doing this shit anymore. I got my daughter. I've got four. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. And Mark Domowitz, yeah, yeah. I don't know how you got banned, shadow banned last time. He was on, and then he got. I can't remember. We got kicked off, or we had to restart. And he couldn't join back up. He could see us, but he couldn't comment or anything. It was really weird.
Yeah, that is really weird.
I tried to reassure him, like, I swear I did not press a button to ban anybody, especially him. I'm like, I would never. Sir. I don't know what happened. So it was a really weird how
Yeah,
that.
YouTube's weird with that sometimes. I've seen that. I've watched other live streams, and I've seen people like similar issues for some reason.
Yeah, stupid YouTube. I don't trust them.
So I'm trying to ink this now. And I'm not even good at inking digitally. Like I am like I like doing thicker lines for that reason because I've tried to do the thin lines and it doesn't look as good on my art as these thicker lines do.
Yeah. I tend to put thicker lines down, but then I'll see art by artists I really like and just see these tiny thin little lines. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that looks so good. I need to try and do that." But then I always come back to doing thicker stuff. And I'm like, "Why can I not just let the thin line be? Just let it be."
Yeah, I've tried that too, like with hair, and I always just end up because another reason I like these thicker lines is you can do like line variation a little. You can see it more like if you do thick here and thin here, and
Yeah.
that's another reason I like it.
Count Chocula, he says, I started using Kick. They leave you alone. What does that mean? Using Kick? What is
Oh,
that?
Kick is another streaming site.
Oh, okay. So Count Chocula, is that why you? I haven't seen you do any of your lives in a minute. It seems like I'd catch you fairly regularly and haven't seen you on there for a minute. Did you move your platform just over to there? Jessica loves the eyes that you've got drawn there.
Oh, thank you. I love
Jessica's
drawing
lying.
eyes.
She hates everybody's artwork. She's a lie. No, I'm just kidding. And Mark says, "Hi, Courtney. Nice to meet you. Cool art, y'all. More tasteful than Death of Power #2." Yeah, the video I put up on this book that was that got some really graphic stuff. I had to be real cautious about what I showed. I'm like, I can't show even this part, so I'm gonna just flip right by it and hopefully I don't get banned.
You just got to go through the whole book and then put like how they do at Comic Con where they have to put like the little papers on
Yeah,
things. You just like go through the whole book and just put papers on everything.
this would have to just be a total like cover the entire double page spread because the entire thing was completely like you can actually pause it on the video and see, but it's graphic. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm actually a little bit concerned. Like somebody will flag it and then I'll get in trouble. Like, we're gonna cut your YouTube channel down because you know I'm getting up there a little bit, and suddenly I'll lose it because I wanted to do something funny.
I don't think. I mean, I don't know how it works. I've never had it. I have my account, but I've never posted on YouTube. But
Yeah,
I know like some things, like if you put a sensitive content warning on it, they don't like flag it and won't get you like. But I've also seen other stuff on YouTube before where I'm like, there's no way they take that down.
right. Yeah. Count Chocula is asking, do you do a comic book, Courtney?
I do not currently have one. It's something I'm still like I have a story that I'm writing and I would eventually like to turn it either into like a kind of a book or a comic book. I think that'd be fun.
I've been kind of gently nudging in that direction for you, like I think you should do this. I think you do really good at it. So, but it is a commitment to like see it through to the end. So
Oh
you
yeah.
be ready and like have all your ducks in a row, so to speak. But
Oh yeah. Cuz you've
yeah,
how long have you been working on your current book?
well, I mean, I'm doing volume 6, but each one takes about a year because they're so thick.
Oh yeah.
And if I was doing nothing but just that as a job, it certainly wouldn't take as long. But yeah, it's pretty time intensive.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Cuz I mean, seeing all the illustrate I mean, you get them done pretty fast, but it's just like all the details you have to add and then you have to do the part that you where you put like the word what was it? Yeah, the word bubbles and stuff in. Don't you
Yep,
do that part digitally?
yep, yeah. Got to draw it, and then I got to scan them. I got to clean it up, and then put them in order. Write the script, put the letters on it, edit it, and then look over it 20 times to make sure I didn't miss anything, which you always do. You always find a couple little errors in the final product, no matter how many times you look it over. And you're like, son of a bitch, how did I spell that word wrong? But it's too late by the time you get it back from the printer.
And you have to make sure because I know last time you said the printer screwed it up, so you have to make sure the printer did it right too.
Yeah, always get a proof copy, like a one in the mail to be like, this is what it's going to look like. And they completely missed like 30 pages.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot to miss.
Yeah, yeah, it was a huge chunk of it. I was really, and then they said they had some goof up at their printer, and they were aware of it. They sent me another proof for free, and it was all fine after that.
I know it was like I just remember you think you talked about it on a stream. It was like soon. It was a few weeks before FanX, and that was like, oh, like this is the worst time to have that happen.
Yes, yeah, it happened right before it, and I was like, I needed to get it in and done, and I'm like, you sons of God, but it all worked out. The place I go through, they got really good customer service. I don't have any complaints, so it all
Oh,
worked.
that's good.
But
That's good.
the trick is leave yourself plenty of time
Oh yeah.
to get done. Someone says might have been an automated ban. Sometimes the filters catch weird things and typos. That's possible. Mark saying, I wish they would at least tell me so I know what not to do. That's the thing I hear about
Yeah.
places where they're like, they'll ban you or suspend you for a minute for violating community standards, but then, and it's never happened to me, but I've heard a lot of people talk about they can't get a straight answer as to what, like, what did I do, what's wrong, so I know not to do it again. And that's beyond aggravating.
Oh yeah. That's Instagram's a little bit better about that now, but they used to kind of be like that, and it was so frustrating because I think I had one account. I have tried to make another art account, but it was a while ago because my other account wasn't seeing much traction, and it got banned, and they didn't tell me why I got banned, and I'm like, well, could you tell me?
So so aggravating. And it's frustrating because on Instagram, I mean, as far as like what you might think might be violating community standards, there's a lot of stuff that gets put on there that's just a
Oh
step
yeah.
above or below like actual like pornography, really.
Yeah, and I've seen that, and it's like, because I've had this current account, where I tried to post a picture on there, and it was like censored, and they took it down. So after that, like, and it happened twice because I tried to post it twice, and it's like, okay, you have one more chance. I'm like, okay, I'm not like risking this anymore, and my account's private, like it's not a public page.
Yeah,
And so I was super frustrated, so I'm like, "Okay, I'm not risking this anymore. I don't wanna get my account taken down." So I just post all that stuff on like, uncensored on Twitter because I'm
yeah,
like, I don't wanna risk getting my whole account taken down. But it
yeah.
was annoying because, like, and then I go see someone else has a public page and they have, like, uncensored stuff, and I'm like, "Why can't I post?"
Right. Yeah, for real. Yeah, you are not wrong at all. Yeah. So all that to say that I put up that video today, and I just I literally flipped. I mean, I flipped the page and I flipped it right back over out. So if you pause it, you can see what was on there. And I did that intentionally. I wanted anybody to be able to catch it. But I'm like, what if that still gets me in trouble?
I think if it's quick enough, I think you'll be fine.
Yeah. God damn it. Sorry, I'm trying to sharpen my pencil, but as I sharpen, it keeps snapping the lead. So I got to keep sharpening it. So that's what this obnoxious sound in the background.
It's I was also banned from Instagram for downloading artwork. Wait, you can get banned from Instagram from that? I didn't even know you could get banned from Instagram for that. What the heck?
Yeah, he was telling me about that. We got bound for that. And he's like, this is bullshit.
I didn't even know you could get banned for that. Cuz I've done that before. Like if someone's I've had some people draw my character for me and they'll send it to me through like, send it to me to download, and I've never had issues. I didn't even know that was something you could get banned for. What the heck?
I know it's ridiculous. Like Jessica saying, what can and cannot be posted without consequence on Instagram makes zero sense. I mean, for real.
Yeah. I mean, if you've ever read cuz Instagram real comment sections are insane, and you read some of those comments and you're like, "Man, I don't know how you're not getting flagged for that."
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
But yeah, I just play it safe on there because I am just like, I know if I can post it on Twitter or can send it via DM or something if someone really wants to see it.
Yeah. Mark was saying I was using software to download it, so it's basically downloading a person's whole account. I get why I was banned. I don't disagree. I just wish they'd warned me.
Oh yeah.
Just like, hey, don't do this. Stop. We'll warn you. We give you a chance to, give you a warning. And yeah, these social media tech companies are some bullshit.
They're very inconsistent about what they allow and don't allow on their platforms.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You are very correct.
Which is frustrating. 'Cause it's like I just want to know what I can post.
Like, just make your rules clear, and I'll follow them. It's fine. It's fine. I swear, it's fine. Just tell me.
Yeah, like I have no problem. Like if I can't post like my not safe for work, like my really not safe for work stuff on Instagram, I don't care. Just
Yeah.
like tell me what the clear boundaries are that I can and can't cross.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And I do know, like from what I've seen on Instagram, it seems like if you do it, like if it's an artist and they draw something in black and white, you can get away with more than if you do it in color. Because I posted a sketch version of my that one drawing that got taken down, and it didn't get taken down. But when I posted the colored one, it got taken down.
Really?
Yeah,
That's Jeez, that's so ridiculous.
like it's the same drawing.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Jessica says she's got to go doing a Star Wars marathon with the kids this week.
Oh, fun.
Well, thanks for stopping in, Jessica. I hope you're feeling good. Hope baby and family and everybody are doing well. Nothing like spending Christmas with your kids and watching Star Wars movies.
That sounds so fun. Just like nice snacks by the TV.
Right? You're like, I know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I'm like, it's like this whole, because I work retail. And so Christmas is like insane because I work at TJ Maxx.
Yeah.
And so it's like insane there. So it's like I'm excited for Christmas
But
I'm excited for Christmas and then like to not have to deal with the Christmas shoppers anymore. But at
yeah,
the same, yeah.
I work at Home Depot, so I'm in retail.
Oh yeah.
So I know, but I work in the back receiving area, so I kind of get to stay off the floor, so I don't have to deal with them. But I've done it for a long time, and Christmas is like, sometimes working in retail makes you hate it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And they always choose to play. I mean, I don't know if they do there. I just know at TJ Maxx they play like the worst Christmas music because it's like they'll have like one song and then they have like 15 different versions of the same exact song, and they play it over and over and over and over again.
Yes. Oh, you're like, I'm just gonna go nuts if I have to listen to this anymore. But
I'll
you got.
just sneak my head like I have AirPods and I'll just have one in my ear so I can kind of drown out the noise.
I was gonna say, but so I mean, 'cause this is another question I was going to ask you. Because I've met you in person, I think 3 times, all of them at the Comic-Con, and you are always like in full like hardcore cosplay. Like
Yeah.
you go all out,
Yeah.
and you go all 3 days, and all 3 days you're in a different outfit, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you're a hardcore, and I think it's fantastic. But you've always got like some kind of like out like something on your head. I guess what I'm getting at is like I've seen your the picture you post of yourself, and like you have like super long hair, right?
So I actually have I have hair extensions and my natural hair isn't that long. I
Okay.
wish it was.
I wasn't sure. I was like, because like the picture you let me use to put up, I was like, I was gonna say because you got really long hair, because then you can use that to like hide the AirPods. Like if you're at work and you got like one in one ear or something like that. I know
Yeah,
girls that do
I
that.
do that. I do that.
You do, right?
Yeah.
I
Oh
don't
yeah.
get that option. I can't have one in my ear and not have the boss like, what the hell are you doing that for? Take that out.
Yeah, I it's nice to at least be able to, cuz I'll listen to like YouTube or music or whatever, and
Yeah.
I mean, I swear my managers have to know cuz if I'm pausing the music to listen, I have to like click the AirPod. And so they see me do it. I just don't think they care because like I'm still, like, listening, because it's only in one ear, it's not in both, and I can
Yeah,
still hear people, so
sure.
they have to know. I've been doing that for 3 years now. There's no way they don't know.
They'd have to know at this point. Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's like, I just have to it helps me get through the day a little bit faster.
Oh yeah, I agree. I because I get to work in the back area of the store, I've got a little like a JBL speaker that we just always have plugged in and playing our own music to drown out the nonsense they play over the
Oh, yeah.
speakers. So it's a nice little perk. But yeah, I wasn't sure if you had like all that like crazy like super long hair. I was like, damn, that's is it tucked up under? How do you do that? I don't know how you girls do that anyway, but it's got its advantages to be able to hide AirPods.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah,
Like,
definitely.
that's awesome. Hey, Mr. D, man, how is it going, man? Someone saying a Star Wars marathon. Man, I wish I had family who wanted to watch marathons of cool things, right?
Oh, I feel that.
Right. And you're like, come on, let's watch this. And it was like, no, let's watch a Hallmark movie special.
Oh my gosh, I hate Hallmark movies so much. They're all the Have you seen those memes about them where it's like they're making fun of, like, how generic and, like, they're all the same exact movie but with different characters? I'm
Yep.
like, I can't watch this."
Yep. Yep. I've seen those. I'm laughing every time because we're like, yep, that's the truth.
Some people just love them, and I'm like, "No, you can love them, but I'm not watching it."
I'm not gonna sit here and watch it with you. I'm sorry. I can't do it. And then I've just got my boys with me and trying to like find something that we can all watch that doesn't just bore them to tears or make me
Oh,
just not go insane with this ridiculous. I mean, my youngest boy, I don't know where he found it, and I don't know how these guys. Um, um, it's called the Skibbity Toilet.
oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I know what it is, but, like, all, like, that age group is, like, obsessed with it, and I don't get
It's a freaking like toilet with the guy's head in it, fighting monsters or something.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I've never watched it, I've just heard, like, with kids, it's, like, so popular, and I don't get it.
It is insane, and I can't stand it. But my 10-year-old doesn't really. He's kind of indifferent. He kind of likes it, kind of does it. But my 8-year-old just thinks it's the greatest thing. He's like, "Daddy, watch a Skibbity Toilet." And I'm like, "Oh, what am I? When I was an 8-year-old kid, I'm watching like He-Man and Transformers and Thundercats and all kinds of cool
Things that
stuff.
had plot to them.
At least a little bit. And if nothing else, they had like morals to the story, like good guys and bad guys and doing the right thing, or just
Yeah.
these kids are watching like toilets with heads in them fighting monsters. I'm like, what where did I go wrong?
Oh,
I don't know what it is, but they love it. So I'll be out there and I'll try like, spend time with them and let them watch their nonsense. But I'm gonna just I cannot sit there and watch it for too long. All right, I'm gonna go elsewhere. I'll
yeah,
come back on you. Make sure you're alive in a little bit.
yeah, I've only seen clips because people repost on Instagram, I'm like, I can't watch this, like I mean, as a kid I don't even know if I'd watch it as a kid, like, I was watching that annoying orange thing when I was a kid. I won't watch it as an adult, but I liked it as a kid.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we all watch our silly thing. We all like weird things as kids, but man, I do not get this. Oh well, it makes them happy, so I'll put up with it a little bit.
Yeah.
Mr. D-Man says YouTube blocked my comment because I says It's a Wonderful Life was bleak and depressing, but that's why I like it. They block that? That's messed up. Like, that's not insulting or
Yeah.
vulgar. It's just an opinion. Mr. D-Man, dude, I grew up in the 70s. These kids are lucky all they have to watch is stupid stuff like Skibbity Toilet. Oh, man. Yeah, I was born in 77, so I'm a kid of the 80s and a teenager of the 90s. But I didn't have no toilet things to watch.
Yeah, I was born in '97, so I mean, I grew up watching like cartoons, just like whatever was on like Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And but my mom like she didn't let me watch anything crazy. So like when YouTube came out, like I remember I went to my friend's house and she showed me what YouTube was because I had no idea because I didn't have like I couldn't just go on the internet whenever I wanted my which I'm really glad my mom let me do that. Um, but yeah, I was like my friend showed me YouTube. I got home, I went on YouTube, and mom's like, what are you on?" And I was because I was watching I don't even know, I was watching, like, some weird Sonic the Hedgehog video, and it wasn't, like, bad or anything, but she's like, yeah, you can't watch YouTube unsupervised." I'm like, "Okay." I mean, I was, like, 8 years old or something.
Yeah.
I didn't know what anything was. I was just like, "Oh, this is fun."
Well, I even have to monitor it. Like my kid's mom don't let my boys watch YouTube, like regular YouTube, at her house at all anymore. I guess they were watching some she wouldn't even tell me what it was. She's like, there was a word in the corner of the video that was so offensive I won't even say it. I'm like, well, now I really want to know. But I let them watch it over here. But I tell them, I'm like, I'm trusting you boys. You know what you are not supposed to watch. And if you see something come up you're not supposed to watch, you turn it. Don't, don't violate my trust, you little turds.
Yeah.
There is all manner of stuff I don't want my boys to see on there, but I'm trying to build trust with them.
Yeah.
You know?
That makes sense. Yeah, like, when I got a little older, my mom was kinda like she'd let me on, like, a little more because the family computer was, like, in the main room, so it's not like it's like everyone can see what you're going on, so, I mean
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the worst thing I did was I didn't know because I was, like again, I think I was 11 or 12, my friend showed me DeviantArt, and so we made a DeviantArt account, and, we didn't know the kinda stuff that was on there, so we're just, like, over there, posting our little drawings, and we're, like, 12 years old, and then there's just, like, crazy stuff on there, and I'm
Oh
like,
yeah,
"Oh."
for
Like,
real.
crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff I should not have seen as a 12-year-old, so I was like, "Okay." So
Oh
I
yeah.
just didn't use the search bar, I just followed artists that were because my
Yeah.
mom saw it once and she's like she let me keep DeviantArt, but she's like, "Yeah, you gotta not look, find you can't use the search bar on DeviantArt."
Well, it's good that she was reasonable with you like that. I assume that was a matter of like trusting you. Like, I'm
Yeah,
all right, keep doing what you're doing, but just don't do this.
yeah. And I mean, I was it you know, I didn't I knew not to use a search bar, it was fine, it was mainly just, like, me and my friends on there just following each other and, like, chatting with each other because we didn't have cell phones or anything.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like our social media, weirdly enough, but
Yeah. No. Yeah. We didn't know what was going to become, and so we were excited. We could just like type in a message on a website and like, oh, I'm communicating.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was fun, and then I just stopped using it because it got like, right. I mean, right now it's all AI stuff, so I'm like, yeah, I'm not posting.
Yeah. Yeah. Mark is saying Ren and Stimpy was probably the grossest thing in our age group. For real. If you
Oh,
could,
I never watched that, but I heard it was nasty.
it was a lot more. I mean, I don't know, I never had access to it somehow, but the parts I saw is pretty funny because it's pretty extreme. But then they did some version which I watched. I'm like, I have never seen this, and you can find this clip all over the place. But it was so adult. I'm like, how did they get away with this? Then I guess somebody was telling me that they did a version later that was like made specifically for adults. It was, I mean, I don't even I'm just saying that one of them was like had a saw and they were trying to cut a piece of wood, but the saw was between his legs and he was like doing pelvic thrusts.
I've seen that clip
You
on
know
his.
the one I'm talking
Yep.
about. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I'm like, how is this for the kids show? I couldn't believe. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was laughing because I mean, how can you not? But I couldn't until somebody explained to me like this wasn't made for the regular kids show or something to that effect. But I'm like, holy, what is going on here? How is that okay?
Yeah, they in the '90s because like even like I used to watch. I used to watch like SpongeBob, like the old SpongeBob. I don't like the new ones.
Yeah.
And they, like, would slip a few jokes in there that you didn't understand as a kid, but you, like, get older, you're like, "Oh."
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to do that with a lot of those shows, and I mean, and I think it's funny because it gives something, like, for the adults to enjoy that the kids aren't gonna understand. So it's, like, kind of fun.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. D-Man is saying I had it good growing up, he says. It was a contrast between violent movies and Disney flicks. Exactly. When I was a kid, I'm growing up watching like Die Hard and Predator and Aliens, and then also enjoying Aladdin and The Lion King. It's so, you know, but it's a variety of stuff, and they're all good in their own way.
Yeah, I didn't get to granted, I was a little girl, and so all I was watching was, like I mean, I watched, like, some, like, boy cartoons or whatever, but I was mainly just watching, like, animal things with, like, dogs and unicorns and whatever. I didn't see all these like, there's so many shows that I'm like that I haven't seen because I didn't get to watch them growing up. So, like, literally just last year, I got to watch all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and I loved them. So I have, like, a list of all these old shows or these really iconic shows that I wanna see that I didn't get to see growing up.
Oh, that's because I'm like, to me in my brain, I'm like, Pirates of the Caribbean wasn't that long ago. But I think about it, the first one was 20 years ago, I think.
Yeah,
Oh my god, I can't believe it's been that long. Right.
and the CGI looks better than most new Marvel movies too.
They did pretty dang good.
Oh, yeah, they did for, like I was shocked because after I watched it, I looked it up, and I'm like, "Dang, I didn't realize it was this old," because it looked pretty good for how old it was.
Yeah, no, it's weird. Some of those old movies, like the original Jurassic Park, like the CGI and that stuff still stands up today. It's like it's still great. And then you see these modern movies, some of them like with these $300 million budgets, and you're like, this looks terrible. What went wrong, guys?
Yeah, like, I haven't seen it, I've only seen people review it because I don't wanna waste my money seeing it, but that Ant-Man and the Wasp thing that came out this year, and I saw, like, screenshots from it, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this looks like one of those Spy Kids movies from the early 2000s."
I honestly only got through about a third of it and shut it off. I just I kind of wanted to finish it just to get the whole story, but I have no desire to go back. And I just, yeah, it just wasn't impressive.
Yeah, that's what I heard about it, and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't wanna go see it if it's just gonna be, like, a waste of money," and I just heard it was not good.
Yeah. Mark, you say you want to try drawing my son's monster design. So I must have mentioned that, and I kind of forgot. I've got it sitting here somewhere where he drew this monster. I was saying that my son, he drew this monster, and then he said, Rob, geez, he said, Dad, he said, Dad, you could do a video where you draw my monster design. And then I think maybe Jessica was suggesting, if I'm remembering correctly, that I could put it out there and see if anyone out there wants to like draw the monster as well. And then I think my son would find that to be incredibly like fascinating. So I will put that up. I'll get a picture of it and put it up. And and I could kind of surprise my son with that. I think he would find that so fascinating because he's like, my dad has a YouTube channel. He's so cool. It's the only time I've ever been cool.
I think that'd be a cool you could have it set up kind of like, like those things where it's like draw this in your style type of thing. You could have it
Yeah,
set up like that. That'd be cool.
yeah, I should do something like that. Yeah. All right, Mark, I'm definitely gonna put that up. Um, I need to do that. And I actually as well, my boy, he come to me earlier today and he's like, Daddy, I want to do a video on your channel because I let my son do it one time. My younger boy, he come along, he's like, Daddy, I want to do a video of my Lego toys. So I'm like, all right, here you go. So I just turned it on and let him record. And I put it up. And my oldest boy's like, I want to do that. So he did a video on this drawing that he did right here of this monster he created. And he's like, got all these designs and details and
Oh,
hit
that's cool.
points and all this stuff. And on the back is like a breakdown of the character itself. And I guess there's a contest out there that to submit monster designs to this Minecraft. I don't know. He's like, Daddy, maybe I'll win that contest. I'm like, we'll see, son. Well, I'll put it up. So I've got a video recorded of him. I don't even know what he said, and I left him by himself. So I'll be putting that up. Yeah,
Oh, that'll be cool.
just like let my little boys be involved because again they do nothing but like 80% of their time is spent just watching nonsense on YouTube and they think daddy's kind of neat because he's doing it. So but then they get to kind of be part of it too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why not? Absolutely. Mark, I like that idea. He says we'll do a draw along stream. We'll do that. I like that idea a lot. We'll plan that 100%. Mr. D, man, look at Rob drawing those muscle chicks. I mean, yeah, I wanted to do some back anatomy and stuff like that. I know it's a far cry from the stuff I've done on here before a whole bunch of times, right, Courtney?
It looks really good. I need to practice doing back anatomy because how you do it looks insanely good. You got all those details and that shading.
And I mean, I do have a reference off to the side here that I'm going off of. Obviously, I'm not doing this out of my own memory, but the idea is to be able to, it's practice to learn to do it. So when I'm drawing my comic pages, I can have a better understanding to do it on the page itself.
Yeah.
It serves multiple functions. Yeah, Mark, that's a great idea. We'll definitely do that. We'll plan a time, and uh, my boy will just love that. It's a great idea.
Yeah, I think that'd be super fun.
One of these days, I'm gonna get an upgraded setup to where I can do like more than two people at a time, and so me, you, and Jessica can draw along if we wanted to, or you know have more than just one person.
Oh, so YouTube does allow more than one person?
Well, not by themselves, like when you go live, but I know that there's a like other. I don't know if it's like a streaming thing where you can do multiple things at a time and then connect it to your YouTube and go live through the other. Like
Oh,
I know a guy who has had like five people on at the same time. I mean, I'm sure we've all seen that, but you got to have access through a different streaming kind of service or something to that effect. So
okay, that makes sense. It's kind of, I think they call it's like simulcasting or something like that.
probably, I'm
I
not
think
sure.
that's what they call. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I've only streamed on Instagram and now YouTube.
yeah, now, yeah, yeah. And Instagram's fine. Instagram lets us the three of us do it, but I get a little bit more, you know, more eyes are watching over here.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, Christmas weekend. I'm not expecting there to be too many people in just in general, but Mr. D Man says that girl reminds me of MDJ Fitness. I don't know who that is. I actually don't know. I just was scrolling in Instagram and just screenshotted a couple of things, and I'm not sure who's what, but I'm like, oh, that's some back anatomy and other things. So I'm like, all right, I don't pay attention to who or what it is.
Oh no, I understand that whole thing. Like sometimes, like like you're looking at anatomy references, or like I before I draw clothes on these characters, I draw like the anatomy, and then people when they see me drawing, they're like, "Why are you drawing a naked person?" I'm
I
like,
know. Yeah. You,
like
well,
where?
you have to get. I refer to it like if you're building a house, you can't start with the paint and the furniture and the decorations. You have to build the base. You got to pour the concrete foundation. You got to build the 2x4 stud framing. It's the
Yeah,
same thing. If I want to draw this character and put clothes on her and make it look as accurate as possible, you got to get the figure drawn in and then put the clothes and the folds and everything in on top of that.
yeah,
That's just how it works.
yeah, exactly. And like, or like if you're looking up art references, because like some again, the best art references are sometimes the ones that don't have like if you're not looking for clothes or if you're drawing a different style of clothes, are like ones that have minimal clothing or whatever. And the people are like, "Why are you looking that up?" And I'm like, I swear it's an art reference.
Yeah, I don't have like weird, creepy fetish things. I swear. I mean, maybe a little, but no. Don't.
But yeah, people who aren't artists do not understand.
Yeah, you are correct. You're right. Um, I got to show that. I got to share this. For those of you who've been following along, if you may have seen, if you follow my channel or on the live stream once or twice, we had a fella join up, Chuck Gibson. He was a guy who did professional ink work for some of the biggest publisher back in the '90s, and he offered for my birthday to do inking on top of some of my pencils to like add his inking on it. And I was like, are you serious? And so he sent me some in progress shots of this one that he's doing. I'm gonna show it right here.
Oh
And
my gosh, the hair is amazing.
yeah, I've got the pencil drawing that I scanned, and he kind of added. Let me zoom in on it a little bit more.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know if it's kind of blurry or not. And then her whole outfit is basically a metal, and so I kind of gave some indications of the metal textures, and he's like, "I love doing metal textures," and he was worried that maybe he was going too far with it. I'm like, "No, I love it. It looks great."
Oh my,
So
that's amazing.
yeah, and you can see that he's still got some more to finish up, um, but yeah, he just sent me a screenshot of like, whatever it's let's see, it says Clip Studio. Is that what you use?
Yeah, I'm using Clip Studio.
Yeah, so he does the same thing. I was like,
Man, what brushes is he using? That's what I want to know. That's
I,
amazing.
you know, I can. That's
Like
fun.
all those things on the yeah.
I can screenshot this and send it to you if you want
Yeah,
to see some of
please
these that he's
do.
got in there.
That would be awesome. Like just the brush settings, because
Yeah,
I'm trying to find better inking brushes because the ones I have right now don't do as good of a job as I want them to.
yeah.
Because those inks look amazing.
Yeah, yeah, and he was telling me that because I get this, like for when you have in comics, especially when you have two people doing the work, you normally one person does the pencil and then another person does the inks on top of it in old school traditional way. But sometimes it takes a couple of pages to get a vibe that works. And he was saying like, he's like, I haven't worked over you before. I haven't done this type of thing. I guess like, he's like, he wasn't happy with what he was doing. He's like, it takes me a minute to get like in a rhythm that works. And he's like, I don't know. I guess it's not looking as quite what he wanted it to be. But to me, I'm like, that looks perfect. Like, God, I'm like, I love it, man. Thank you. So I can't wait to get the final version. I'll print it out and I'll show it up live when I get a final version. So it was such a neat, awesome gift of that guy to be willing to do that. I'm completely flattered that he's doing it. So I just had to share it. I'm like, oh my God, I got to show somebody.
Yeah, that looks insanely good. That's awesome.
Yeah. I'll, like I said, I'll screenshot those brushes and, I'll message that to you so you can
Yeah,
see.
thank you.
Yeah. Cause I don't know what he does like as a normal job, but I believe it's all digital work, and so he's very deep into it. Okay, yeah, I just screenshotted those right there for you. I'm just gonna Instagram them to you now so I don't forget because I will.
Yeah, because you can download, like they have a website like on Clip Studio, and you can go download like different brushes. So like I have all these, and so like I could probably find those on the website, and that would be awesome. And it's all free, which is nice too.
I don't know if it matters which one I send these to because you got like two accounts, so I'm just gonna send
Yeah,
one of them. But yeah, okay, I just sent those to you.
sweet, thank you.
Yeah, Mr. D Man says that girl looks like Jessica. I see if you mean the inking that I was doing. I mean, long dark hair and pretty, so I mean, it could be. I did not reference her or anything like that. This one just came out of my own head for better or worse. You know what's awesome? Or well, it's not awesome. It's terrible. Like if you could see this, see that fist, but do you see the outline of the fist there around it?
Yeah.
I had drawn it in pencil and I wasn't paying attention. I got lost in the weeds and I made that fist way too big. I had it so huge. And then I was like, oh shit, I didn't notice it until after I scanned it and sent it to him and was looking at it like from a different vantage point. I was like, holy shit, I really made that fist too huge. He's like, all right, I'm glad you saw that because I'm going to fix it. I'm like, oh my God. See the size difference that I had. I had it like this giant mutant hand. And I was like, oh my God, this is embarrassing. Like, I'm trying to do the best that I could do for this guy. I was nervous about it. I sent him this drawing with this giant hand. And I'm sure he was like, God, this amateur.
No, your art's really good.
Oh, I just what's crazy is the harder I try, the worse it is. Like if I just sit down and just start screwing around with no care about what I'm doing, I'll tend to get stuff I like the most. But when I like sit down and I'm like, okay, I need this to be good. This has to be good, and it's just a mess.
Oh, I have that same thing. Or sometimes I'll be drawing something and I'll hate it. I'll hate it, and I'll post it anyways because I took time on it. I finished it, so I might as well post it. But I'll hate it, And then the next day I'll look at it, I'm like, I don't hate it as much as I did when I was just looking at it for like 4 hours.
You're right. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's so frustrating. Mr. D Man says he knows that the old He Man cartoon has a ton of redheads on it. I mean, besides Tila, I'm trying to think of who. I mean, the sorceress always has her head covers. Evil Lynn has white hair under that helmet. Um, Now you got me thinking about it. Mark saying it's crazy that my brother John can draw too. He says I didn't know that he had drawn some of Masters End 3. Um, well, and so my brother John drew um, 24 pages, chapter 2 in book 1, and then he drew 20 or so pages in book 3, and then about half of book 4. So what's funny is some people say that we have similar styles, but to me, I can completely see a difference. But I mean, of course, I
I
can.
I see a difference in your guys' styles too.
Yeah. Jeff Small Gibson inking on you is big. I mean, that's what I think. Jeff. That's how I take it. I mean, again, if you would have told me, because March coming up is when I started my YouTube channel here. So it's crazy how quickly a year has come up. But if you would have told me, I would have had, I mean, just the subscriber count that I have and doing things like this and have somebody from one of the old um, big time art studios of the 90s being willing to, do this thing for me, I would have like, no way. There's no way that's going to happen. So it's turned out to be way more fun than I ever could have imagined.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I've had people kind of ask me like, "How do you make it work?" So I'm like, "What's your secret?" I'm like, "I think my only secret is that I post so much, literally one a day, and I'm posting stuff that has been popular. It's not me; it's the content. It's like, oh, I'm talking about this thing that everyone, has, or I mean, everyone. I mean, it's certainly a niche audience. It's like people who like comic books, but this is the big stuff that people know about. So that helps draw eyes, and then hopefully, I'm not a complete obnoxious jerk.
I've seen some of your videos and I think they're really good. I was gonna ask, so do you film them? Like how often? Like when do you film them? Like on weekends or every day, or how do you do that?
I try to do a batch of them all at one time, to just get several in, like, and usually on the weekends. Um, so like last weekend, I remember I sat down and I kind of I spent about 2.5 hours just filming stuff. And it just depends on how long each one is. Sometimes they're 10 or 15 minutes long. Sometimes I go an hour. Just depends on. And what's funny is I don't have any real plan in mind. I just I sit down and sometimes I'll flip through it just to kind of remind myself. And I just sit down, no plan. I just start talking. And when I rewatch them later, I'll catch how I like called someone the wrong name or something like that, or just, because I'm just streaming consciousness. I'm just going off the cuff. But yeah, I do it all at kind of like I'll just set some time aside and like, okay, film several and then just upload them and get them logged in. So then the idea is then I can spend the rest of the week drawing my comic book because I'm getting a little worried that I'm not going to get my book done at the time frame I want because I kind of hit a little bit of like I've had to rework some of the pages, so I'm kind of stuck. So I'm not going as fast as I want to be, but I'm also dedicating time to doing videos for YouTube. I'm like, I have to get something made, or I won't have something go up. So it's kind of cutting into my drawing time, but I think I'm managing it, sort of.
Oh, I think you're doing good. It's hard to keep up with all that stuff and work and all that, so I think it's good.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's not a good thing, but I mean, like I've said, I'm not with my kid's mom anymore, so I don't have my kids all the time. I'm not married, so it's just basically me for a majority of the time. So I've got plenty of time to kind of dedicate to what I want, and this type of stuff kind of keeps me sane. You know, if
Yeah.
I didn't have, you know, I got to have something to kind of keep my sanity, and this works. So I'm not complaining. It's a fun thing to do. My brother, he told me last night because I've kind of told him like, when are you going to do something? He says he's started recording some videos for his own YouTube channel.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I think at first he was like, he didn't want to do it because he didn't want to feel like he's just aping me or copying me. I'm like, don't worry about that. I don't. Who gives a shit, man? Just do it, you know. So he's
It'd
trying
be
to come
cool
up
if you
with a
guys
way.
did streams together too.
And that's another thing I want to do. And he's got a 1-year-old baby. He's married and got a 1-year-old kid, so it's kind of hard for him to carve out that time.
Yeah.
I that is on the to do.
Yeah, because that would be super cool if you guys did like both did like you drew the same thing in your own styles or something. That'd be
Yeah,
super.
yeah, that's something we probably will do. Let's see, Mr. D Man. He's listing all these names of characters that are read the show, and I'm like, most of those names I don't know if I remember. Of course, I only remember the major names, so I believe you. And Mark, people who like comics from the '90s. Yeah, that's the audience that's watching me mostly for sure. Um, Someone saying you're just used to drawing Fisto. True, and not many people make that claim. He's not a character that people are like, oh yeah, let me draw the character that's got the big giant metal glove on and he punches things, and his name is Fisto. Kind of ridiculous. I mean, there's literally a comic strip where He-Man's going to comfort Fisto because he got defeated in battle, and Fisto's like, He-Man, I was fisting so hard,
Oh.
not making that. So you're like, I can't believe I'm not making that up. You're like, okay. I mean, there were certain things that were not in the cultural norms at the time that they just didn't think about.
Oh, that's oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so my brother will be doing some YouTube eventually. I mean, he's just started recording, so I'm looking forward to that. And then I keep pushing Jessica to do something. I think that she could, but again, she's got a lot of family stuff. I think you could do it too, Courtney, if you wanted to, if you wanted to dedicate that time to it. But I get it. It's a big kind of, you know, to like start doing it if you really want to.
Yeah.
I get
I don't even know what I could see myself maybe streaming on YouTube because I have like, drawing streams, but I don't know like what stuff I would like upload onto YouTube.
Yeah. I know. It's like you got kind of got to have like a plan of what to do. Like I definitely knew what I wanted to do, and I'm like, all right, we'll just try this, and here we are.
But yeah, I think like eventually I think live streaming would be because I used to live stream on Instagram all the time because my hours at work used to be different, so I had more time. But
Yeah,
now I'm like my hours are crazy, so I'm like, oh, I'd love to start streaming more on Instagram.
yeah. Well, I am glad that you've been able to find the time to come here today. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, I mean I mean Jessica's out of commission for a while, so I'll hit you up, and if you're available, fantastic. You know what I mean? Don't feel I don't want anybody to feel obligated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh God, how do I tell this idiot no? But yeah, we can if you can and you want, we can do this more.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Man, you draw those things so fast. I'm still like lining my my drawing.
That's what Jessica says. Again, it's not terribly complicated. They're just curving shapes, and no faces, no clothes. I mean, so
That definitely helps because drawing the clothes, you have to get all the wrinkles in the clothes, and then the faces, you have to make sure like the facial symmetry is right.
yes. So to be fair, that is part of why this is going a lot faster. Um,
I need
yeah,
to do figure drawings. Then I actually really do want to get because I have some figure drawings, but I don't post them. But I'd like to start posting them because I think it's like I think it'd be good too, or just at least like because sometimes what I'll do is I'll make a figure drawing and then I start adding to it and adding to it, and it becomes like a full drawing or something. Yeah, I
Right.
need to do more stuff like that.
Well,
I think
you, because your stuff is fantastic.
oh, thank you. Yeah, I wanna draw more. I've just been so busy, every I think for the last 2 weeks, every day other than work, I've had stuff, like, after work, and then I go to draw, and then I fall asleep, and I'm like, "Ah, I wanna draw."
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's the busy season, especially in retail. Now it might slow down.
Oh,
Generally
yeah.
speaking. I've
Yeah,
been
oh, sorry.
no, I've been hit hard with, I think, like physically getting used to like the temperature change and the how it gets so dark so fast. I
Yeah,
come home from work and basically lay down and take a nap almost every day as soon
yeah,
as I
I
come home from work. And I'm like, God, I'm just an old man anymore. This is pathetic. But I'm feeling this season more so than previous ones.
no, I understand that. I get home from work, and it starts getting dark at, like, what, 5 now, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm getting tired." I'm like, "Well, I can't go to bed at 5 or I'll be up all night, like,
Yeah.
in the middle of the night." So to
Yep.
force myself to stay awake.
Yeah. It's rough. Yeah, Mark saying, Mr. D man, you know a crap ton about him. He does. He really does. Yeah, Mr. D man's got all the knowledge. He's like, all I do is watch YouTube. I just watch all the He-Man cartoons on YouTube. Seriously, yeah. I can't watch the old He-Man cartoons for as much as I'm doing a whole fan comic of it, but they're kind of tough to watch because they're so like made for kids. you know, it's more of the concept is interesting to me than the actual original show itself. It's kind of hard to watch them.
It's kinda like one of those things where it's like I've never, like, actually seen it, I've just heard about it. Is it kinda like one it's, like, really cheesy kind of thing, like the jokes and stuff?
If you talk about the He-Man show, um, it's just a bunch of good guys and a bunch of bumbling idiot bad guys, and the bad guys hatch a silly plan, and the good guys defeat them super easily, and there's no danger. The dialogue is written for, little young boys of the 80s. So it's one of those where like I think the designs and the concept is cool, but that I wanted to take and do something that adult me would appreciate. But yeah, it's kind of just a silly, like it's not as awesome. For example, a lot of people love, and they're right, like the Batman animated cartoon from, was it the 90s? Like that was not made for kids. It was made to appeal to kids and to adults, and it still holds up. But old He-Man shows do not hold up. Outside of like the nostalgia joy of it, it's like, oh, I loved these as a kid, but I can't watch them and get too much enjoyment out of them.
No, I get that. I used to watch granted, there's a big difference, it's interesting. So I was growing up, I was, like, really into Sonic the Hedgehog stuff, like, that was my favorite thing ever.
Right.
And I used to watch so they've made, like, multiple shows for that franchise, so they had, like, a one that was kind of like an anime, and then they had, like, the ones from the '90s, and I watched all of them. And the ones I liked the anime one a bit better because it's still pretty cheesy, but it's, like, you can take it a little more seriously than, like, the one from the '90s. The one from the '90s is, like, kinda how you were describing, where it's, like, they make those it's the idiot bad guys and the good guys and stuff like that. But it's, like, I can laugh at it as an adult, like, cause it's, like, me and my sister used to watch it all the time, and it's kind of like an inside joke with for us and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Did you like the Sonic the Hedgehog movies?
Yeah, I saw one last year and the one the previous year. I mean, I thought it was gonna be really bad because I'm so I didn't go in with high hopes because 'cause I'm like, "Oh, it's gonna be like
Yeah.
other video game adaptations to movies haven't been great in the past." So I'm like and then that whole fiasco they had with, like, the original design of
Yeah.
Sonic, I'm like, "That looks terrible." I'm like, "I
Yeah.
my hopes are low." And I went in, I'm like, "Oh, this isn't bad,"
It
like, they
turned out to be
interesting.
kinda good, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like they're having because the new one, they some of them are based off the games, like, loosely, and so the next one's gonna have, like, me and my sister's like, the character that was our favorite, so I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I definitely will see the new one."
That's
That's
awesome.
coming out. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by it because I was going in there thinking, "Oh, this is not gonna be good. It's just gonna be like another crappy, remake of a video game franchise," and it was like, I
Yep.
was surprised.
Yeah, they kind of pulled it out. Yeah, my kids loved it. And they don't know anything about Sonic. I never played the games as a kid, so I didn't have any kind of connection to it, so I didn't care. But I found it entertaining enough. I'm like, all right, good on them. They kind of pulled it off.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mr.
I
D.
played oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I said I played, like, all I mean, I think the first console we had was a PS2, and that's what we played on like, they had a game that had all the classic games on it for the PS2, so we got to
Oh,
play all those. Those the first Sonic games I played were, like, the ones from the '90s, and those were really fun.
yeah.
And then I got into, like, the newer ones. I don't play them anymore though, because they the new games, like, suck really bad. Like, they can't make good games anymore.
Mr. D Man, he said he's done redesigns of those characters and made them look more edgy. I mean, that's kind of what I do in my book. I take the designs and I change some of them just to make it a little bit more interesting to me. And then he says, Ram Man is hilarious. I know this episode he's talking about. There was this bad guy, this female, I think like a witch character, Shakoti is Mr. D Man. Is that how you say it? Um, Shakoti was her name, but Ram Man, who's kind of, I mean, they kind of portray him to be like he's like mentally challenged. Like he literally will walk into a room, they'll ask him a question, and the character will go, duh, I don't know. It's really silly. So he's kind of portrayed as a dum dum, but Ram Man, he called this character Shakoti, he called her Shabuti. So it was legitimately funny. Like he couldn't pronounce her name, so he just said some weird thing. I'm like, all right,
That's funny.
they interjected some humor into there.
That sounds funny.
Yeah, that man. I mean, because his power was that his legs are like spring loaded, and he wears this big harness over his head and shoulders and upper body, and on the top of his head is like a big flat plate. So he'd spring load jump and plow hit the top of his head into whatever. Hence the name Ram Man. So it's like he's got brain damage. And I'm not when he's like, duh, I don't know. You're like, wow, should this be insulting? Should this be offensive? It's kind of messed up.
I mean, it's a little different, but they kinda do that with, like, characters like Patrick from SpongeBob and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's funny.
Yeah, that guy's got some learning disabilities or something. I
Oh,
don't
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was another one of my favorite shows as a kid was SpongeBob. Like, I used for some reason, I used to hate it when I was, like, 3, and then I started liking it after, like, one of the episodes. I hate the new ones, though. The new ones suck.
I didn't understand the appeal of it, but then my my ex-wife's her older son from a previous marriage, he was watching it. So I'd kind of catch clips of it and I was like, all right, I can actually all right, I kind of get it.
Yeah, and it's like the old ones from, like, the '90s and early 2000s are good, but, like, past a certain point, it's just like, "What is happening? This is too much." Like, it's still running, and I've seen occasional clips. I don't watch it, but I've seen clips on, like, Instagram of the new SpongeBob, and just it's not the jokes aren't funny, there's not clever writing or anything, it's just, like,
Yeah.
just random nonsense.
It's almost like it's a brand that they just have to keep going because it keeps making money. And
Yeah,
it was stopped being creatively interesting a long time ago, but somehow it keeps making money.
yeah. Like,
I
I literally don't know who's, like, watching the new stuff. I've never heard of anyone who's watching the new SpongeBob.
Yeah, no idea. D Man says on Earth, Ram Man would be an NFL player. You're right. He would. He'd be running around like, duh, hike the ball there and running into the end zone. That's funny. Have you ever done a drawing? I mean, I'm sure you have, but I when I think of everything I see you post, have you ever done just like a black and white line drawing and called it like done it like and say this is the finished version of it?
Like something like this, like what I'm doing, like just without color.
Kind of, yeah. Because I saw you
Um,
flipping back and forth. I'm like, oh, that's kind of a neat line drawing. But I know you like to finish your stuff fully in full color, and it looks great. I'm just wondering if you've ever done.
Let me see. So I think I have. Let me find it. I did one. It was still kind of finished. I'll see if it lets me open it without shutting my program off. Because sometimes I can't do that because I have too much stuff. Oh yeah, this one is the black and white one I did.
Oh hell yeah, that looks awesome.
Oh, thank you.
That's
Yeah, this one was fun because I used a different brush because there's an artist I follow that used to do black and white art, and they had like these certain brushes. So I tried to use those brushes, and it was really fun.
yeah. I mean, again, I'm not being like, oh my god, this is amazing, as if your other stuff isn't. But I see so little of it now. All I do is black and white, so I'm like, oh yeah, that looks awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for showing. That's really cool.
Yeah, I've done it like occasionally. I'd like to try to do more because I mean, it'd be nice to not have to color everything I do because the coloring, because I have a new shading style, takes forever because I do like different shades of like blues and pinks, and it takes so.
Yeah. See, someone says that Patrick is a starfish, and I'm pretty sure starfish don't actually have brains. That's hilarious. That explains a lot. So it fits his character, he says.
Yeah.
D Man says, I saw they have an NFL game on Nickelodeon and Patrick was doing commentary. Holy shit. Find that.
No. What?
Right. I'm like, all right. Mark Domowitz, he's saying to you, great fashion design. That's hard to
Oh,
do.
thank you. I love drawing like fashion and stuff like that, and that's like one of my favorite things to do is that like fashion design on my characters.
Yeah, you definitely got that down. I find myself when I'm drawing things and I'm like, okay, I have to draw like regular people in the background. And I'm like, um, what are they wearing? Well, I have no idea what to put normal people in. I have to start like really thinking about it. All right. Shirt, shorts, dress, scarves. God damn, I don't know all this stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I get like inspiration from places like Pinterest, and then I'll like mix and match designs and like if I don't have ideas, but it's that I have fun with that. I used to though. I didn't used to like it. Like if I look at my old character designs, they all had like the same outfit, like pants, t-shirt, hoodie. Cause like I didn't care as a kid. I was like, I just want to draw my characters.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my old art was. I had this issue where all my characters looked way too similar to each other because I was not good at designing stuff as a kid.
We all got to start somewhere. That's for sure. Yeah, I just wanted to throw it out there. Hey, Jimmy Reyes Art. Hey, man, how are you? Um, but Courtney, I was gonna just say we've been going a little over an hour. I don't know if you were, you know, um, what's your time?
Oh yeah, I didn't I didn't even realize how long it had been.
Well, that's the thing. The time kind of flies. Like, an hour is suddenly done just like that. So I wanted you to, in case you hadn't noticed, if you had a thing you needed to, you know, or something you need to do or whatever. Just,
Yeah, I'll probably get off then because I actually did have something and I totally lost track of time.
yeah, we've been going. It's 6:20 now, so we're almost an hour and a half in. So
Well, this has been fun. Thanks for letting me stream with you. It was a lot. I enjoyed it.
yeah, thank you very very much for coming along. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Well, I'm gonna hop off. I don't know. Like, can I just hop off or does it
Yeah,
make? Okay.
you can just close out your thing and it'll go away. So you'll be good. No worries.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
see you guys. Thank you.
thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Beep. It's just me. And as usual, I should probably go check on my boys. Yeah, I'll jump off here too. But thanks everyone for jumping in. Jimmy, thanks for jumping in right at the last second there. But yeah, we've been going for a minute, so we're gonna close it down. Thank you all of you for coming as usual, Mr. D Man. Love all your insights, and I love it, man. Someone saying thank you, Mark. We're gonna do that thing. We're gonna do that drawing stream thing. Absolutely, we will do that. So I'll message you and we'll work that out. That sounds like a great idea. So everybody, thank you very much for joining. See you on the next one.